Wait for it. How'd you like that? So there is a method to my madness and a reason I picked that song. Uh, some of you may know it. Uh, Name that tune if you can. Um, Basically, it is now June 5th, 2024. I have now hit the big 6-0, and basically I've gone 60 revolutions around the sun. So that's part and parcel why I chose that song. Uh, so what I'm going to do, and I did not put a PowerPoint together because it would have taken me freaking forever. Uh, I'm I had a series way back when called The Formative Years, and I think I did from 1977 to 1983. Uh, Today, I'm going to give you 1964, the year I was born. 60. I just can't freaking believe it. Never thought I'd make it this far. Never thought I'd still be listening to heavy metal at the age of 60. Some guy the other night at the Symphony X show, he's like, he couldn't believe I was 60. And, here's this 47-year-old guy, and, you know, he's old by my children's standards, but too funny. And the reason I'm using this beach scene, this is Long Beach, by the way, because that's where my parents met. They met on a beach in Naples, Italy. The rest is, as they say, history. But yeah, I wanted to do something a little different than my normal. I'll show you this background, but yeah, had to do something a little brighter, something more sunny and cheerful. Um, and that's that. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about 1964. So basically, this is going to be a pop culture tour of 1964. Uh, you know me being into music and everything. First, we're going to talk about notable albums of 1964. So there was Meet the Beatles by the Beatles, Muddy Waters, Folk Singer, The Hollies, Stay with the Hollies, Four Seasons, Born to Wander, Bob Dylan, The Times They Are a Changin'. Wow, he said that back in 1964. Sam Cooke, ain't that good news? We would lose Sam Cooke in 1964, sadly. Uh, Tony Bennett, The Many Moods of Tony. The Beach Boys, Shut Down Volume 2. The Dave Clark 5. I'm feeling glad all over. Meet the Temptations. The Four Seasons. Dawn, Go Away, and 11 other great songs. Marvin Gaye, When I'm Alone, I Cry. Elvis Presley, Kissin' Cousins. Beatles' second album. Yes, they were putting a lot of albums together um, in, in a single year. Yeah, some bands would put 3, 4 albums together in a single year. It's not like today where they put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into each song, and when you have bands like the Eagles that take over a year to record a freaking the long run album. What are you gonna do? Let's see. Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones, the name of the album. Dusty Springfield, A Girl Called Dusty. Again, the Dave Clark 5, A Session with the Dave Clark 5. Leslie Gore, Boys, Boys, Boys. Louis Armstrong, Hello, darling. My grandmother used to sing that to me when I was very little. That was cool. Um, who else? Jerry and the Pacemakers. Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. The Ventures, the Fabulous Ventures. Roy Orbison. More of Roy Orbison's greatest hits. Wow. You already had a greatest hit album in '64? Hmm. The Beach Boys, All Summer Long. Connie Francis, Looking for Love. That's a famous person that my father met way back when he was in the Coast Guard. Uh, I've tried to meet a lot of famous people, but that's my father's one known famous person that he met. The Rolling Stones, 5 by 5. Dionne Warwick, Make Way for Dionne Warwick. The Supremes, Baby, Where Did Our Love Go? Great tune. Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry, two great guitars. Manfred Mann, The Five Faces of Manfred Mann. Hard to believe that they would put out a great tune, Blinded by the Light, many years later. You have the Animals, self-titled album. The Kinks, self-titled album. The Beach Boys in concert. Brenda Lee, Merry Christmas from Brenda Lee. Simon and Garfunkel, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. What else? Yeah, we're winding down. Jerry and the Pacemaker's second album. Del Shannon, Handyman. He who wrote the song My Little Runaway. I don't know if he wrote it, but he sang it. Great tune. Ricky Nelson, Spotlight on Rick. What else do we have? The Yardbirds, 5 Live Yardbirds. See, now they're one of my early favorites. Dave Clark 5, Coast to Coast. Whew, a lot of freaking albums I talked about. Okay, notable pop hit songs. These are probably the top 35 songs of 1964 in Billboard. So basically, they take all the #1 songs from the year and they rank them, and they give you the top 35 best songs of the year. Of course, the Beatles has the top 2. I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You. I, of course, would like the Beatles, a little bit later on. Basically from, what's that album? Rubber Soul and onward. Revolver, great album. Then they did a bunch of, all the rest of their stuff was just fantastic. Louis Armstrong and the All-Stars with Hello, Dolly once again. Roy Orbison, Pretty Woman. The Supremes, Baby Love. Beach Boys, I Get Around. Animals, House of the Rising Sun, another song that I love. Beatles, I Feel Fine. The Supremes, Come See About Me, See About My Baby. Beatles, Can't Buy Me Love. Supremes, Where Did Our Love Go? Mary Wells, My Guy. Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. Four Seasons, Ragdoll. Dixie Cups, Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Sam and George will be getting married next year. Having a little fun. Come on, people, it's my birthday. Laugh with me a little. Manfred Mann, Do What Diddy. Hard to believe that their next big hit was as I said, Blinded by the Light, and what was that, 1977? From 64 to 77? Okay. The Zombies, She's Not There. I love the Zombies. They are great. Wish they had more hits. Martha and the Vandellas, Dancing in the Street. Beatles, Love Me Do. Beatles, Twist and Shout. Four Seasons, Don't go away, I'm no good for you. The Shangri-Las, leader of the pack. Vroom, vroom. Leslie Gore, you don't own me. Beatles, please please me. The Shangri-Las, remember walking in the sand. Covered many years later by Aerosmith. Okay, other notable singles. These didn't make it, but they were notable. Four Tops. Love the Four Tops. Baby, I Need Your Lovin'. Kinks, All Day and All of the Night. What else? Animals, I'm Crying, and Baby, Let Me Take You Home. Jan and Dean, The Little Old Lady from Pasadena. Little did I know, years ago, watching Batman, there was an episode with the villain Shame, and Shame had this sidekick who was selling used cars, and this little old lady pulls up, and she's in this jalopy, and she said, "I've come all the way from Pasadena for this car, honey." And little did I know that she was actually referencing this song by Jan and Dean. Uh, it's so funny. Back in 66, 67, Batman, kind of like Family Guy, they were big on the pop culture of the time, and but of course I didn't get the joke at that time, but I do now. Uh, them, the song Gloria, 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 a song that they sung in The Sopranos, with yet another affair by Tony Soprano. Dusty Springfield, Stay a While, all cried out, I just don't know what to do with myself. Marianne Faithfull took the Rolling Stones song As Tears Go By, and she also made it a hit. The Temptations, The Way You Do the Things You Do. The Beatles, this is a rarity. John and Paul wrote this song for George to sing before George became prolific in his own right, writing his own songs. The song, Do You Want to Know a Secret? Jerry and the Pacemakers, Ferry Cross the Mersey. What else? Herman's Hermits, Show Me Girl, and I'm Into Something Good. Wow, I didn't realize that was 1964. Let's see. The Rolling Stones, favorite of mine, It's All Over Now. And then the song Little Red Rooster, one of their early favorites. The Shangri-Las, Give Him a Great Kiss, Big Kiss Goodbye. All right, let's talk about births in 1964. Births, okay. February 4th, Noodles of the Offspring. Uh, uh, a band that both I and my son Jason like. February 5th, Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver. One of only 2 or 3 people that I've actually seen in concert. March 11th, Vinnie Paul, drummer of Pantera and Damage Plan. March 30th, Tracy Chapman, American singers, songwriter. She wrote the song, sang the song Fast Cars in the 80s. April 7th, Russell Crowe, singer, actor. Lenny Kravitz, May 26th. May 30th, little known secret, I also saw this person in concert. Winona Judd. Took my wife to see the Judds at the place called the Westbury Music Fair. A concert hall where everything was in the round. It was so cool. May 30th, Tom Morello, American rock guitarist of Rage Against the Machine and Audioslave. And Tom Morello did a real kick-ass job introducing Kiss during their when they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You knocked it out of the park, Tom. I thought you did quite good. June 5th, your host of All or Not According to Jack, occasional guest on Sea of Tranquility, Jack Toledano. July 9th, Courtney Love. You know Courtney Love. She was girlfriend of Kurt Cobain. July 20th, Chris Cornell, great singer of Soundgarden and Audioslave. September 2nd, Keanu Reeves. October 23rd, Robert Trujillo, Metallica. December 8th, Terry Hatcher. Uh, she was in, so she was, little did I know, she was a voice actress and singer, but also she was on Desperate Housewives, but for me, she was most famously known for, wait for it, I'm going to, oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to change my background really quick. She actually walked out that door and she said to Jerry, "They're real and they're spectacular." Too funny. Too funny. Let's go back to Long Beach. There you go. Okay, one more. Not a huge fan of the singer, but he's pretty good. December 23rd, Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam. All right. Okay, so now we're going to talk about TV show debuts in 1964. So, January 1st of 64, Top of the Pops. A lot of bands would be on Top of the Pops. My favorite, Judas Priest, was on it numerous times, even when they were not known at that time. Let's see, what else? January 14th, The McGilla Gorilla Show. I used to watch that all the time. We've got a gorilla for sale, McGilla Gorilla. May 4th, American soap opera Another World. September 14th, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. What else? September 17th, Bewitched, a favorite show of my wife, ran from 64 to 72. Little known fact about Bewitched. So my daughter is also so the witch on the show is Samantha Stevens, played by Elizabeth Montgomery, but my daughter Samantha, out for the longest time when we had those little flip phones, when Samantha would call one of us, that would be the ringtone. Da 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 da. Very cool, huh? Little known fact. September 18th, The Addams Family. Not a huge fan of that show. September 19th, Flipper. They called him Flipper. September 22nd, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. September 24th, two debuts. Daniel Boone, and then a favorite show of mine, The Munsters. Now, I always liked The Munsters better than The Addams Family. What's not to love about clumsy old Fred Gwynn? You know, wouldn't hurt a fly, but scared everybody to death and very clumsy and throwing his temper tantrums and the ceiling would fall down around him. Too funny. September 26th, Gilligan's Island. October 3rd, this is a float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Underdog. What else have we got? Nothing really of note for the end of the year. That's about it, yeah. So let's see, births. TV births. Let's see, January 7th, Nicolas Cage. I'm just going to talk about people that I know. January 23rd, daughter of Jane Mansfield, Mariska Hargitay. We've watched a lot of Law and Order SVU in this house over the years. We love the Law and Order series. Linus Roach, another member of Law and Order and Law and Order SVU. He played an attorney under Jack McCoy. Okay, so who else? Chris Farley, February 15th. Uh, Funny guy. February 18th, Matt Dillon. Who else? March 7th, Wanda Sykes, very funny. Thing I love about one, so she was on the Chris Rock show. She had her own show, the Wanda Sykes show. But for me, she's most notable for having been on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Yeah, she was so funny with the black and white tension that she had going with Larry David. And there was one episode where he kept faux pas after faux pas offending African American people, and she was always there with her arms folded, you know, shaming him. It was the funniest thing. You got to see it. Who else? Rob Lowe, March 17th. West Wing, Brothers and Sisters, Parks and Recreation. Um, Christopher Reed? I don't think it was the same Christopher. Okay. Russell Crowe, we mentioned already. Who else? Cedric the Entertainer, April 24th. Very funny guy. Um, Melissa Gilbert, Little House on the Prairie. Kevin Frazier, May 20th. Courtney Cox, June 15th. Real beauty. She was on Friends. And she had a guest episode on Seinfeld where she pretended to be Jerry's wife for free dry cleaning or discount dry cleaning. Okay, let's try and get through this a little quicker. Yeardley Smith, um, voice actress of Lisa Simpson on The Simpsons. Um, Wendy Williams, not to be confused with Wendy O. Williams of the Plasmatics, July 18th. David Spade, comedian on Saturday Night Live, Just Shoot Me, Rules of Engagement. Sandra Bullock, July 26th. Vivica Fox, she was also on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Mary Louise Parker, what show was she on? I don't know, but West Wing and Weeds. Just skipping through these. Wow, we're only into August. Bear with me. I mentioned Keanu Reeves already. Eazy-E, September 7th. Died in 1995, sadly. Greg Gutfeld, September 12th. My parents loved Gutfeld with all of his conservative political talk. Faith Ford, September 14th. Pretty lady on Murphy Brown and Hope and Faith. Who else do we? Janine Garofalo, September 28th. I just remember she had a guest spot in The Sopranos. She was on the Ben Stiller Show, Larry Sanders Show, Saturday Night Live, etc., etc. My son Jason used to do stand-up comedy, and he ran into her a few times, and they talked. Who else? Oh, November 7th, Dana Plato. Never realized she was my age. Sadly, she died in 1999. She was on Different Strokes, the daughter on Different Strokes. Clean cut girl. What a sad end for her. Callista Flockhart, Ally McBeal. Another pretty lady. Robin Givens, head of the class. Marissa Tomei, December 4th. Then there's torque, and the fucking thing's broken. The fucking thing's broken. God, I loved her, especially her. What was it? Her guest spot on Seinfeld, but nothing better than her role in My Cousin Vinny. You dickhead! He's supposed to tell you. It's called disclosure. Oh yeah. I already mentioned Terry Hatcher. Oh, here's one. December 18th. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Little did I know that a guy who could kick the living shit out of me uh, is only 6 months younger than me. But you know what? He's a hero to many of us for beating up on Vince McMahon all those years ago the way he did. Never forget the time where he attacked him in his hospital bed and beat the ever-loving shit out of him. Stuck an enema up his hindquarters. Uh, he zapped him with a defibrillator, beat him over the head with a bedpan. It's funny. Oh, gotta love it. Okay, so one more topic, and then we're just gonna, say goodnight. Events of 1964. So some of these were on TV, some of these happened in real life. We already mentioned Top of the Pops, January 10th, introducing the Beatles' first album to be released in the United States. Comes out on Chicago's VJ Records. I can't get my goddamn spreadsheet to... Oh, there we go. Comes out on Chicago's VJ Records, preceding Capitol Records' release of Meet the Beatles. What else? January 18th, Beatles appear on the Billboard magazine charts in the U.S. for the first time. They also arrived in the U.S. to great acclaim. What else? Here's another dickhead. Indiana Governor Matthew Welsh declares the 1963 recording of Louie Louie by the Kingsmen pornographic. How is that pornographic? Everybody knows that was a featured song in the movie Animal House. He requests that the Indiana Broadcasters Association ban the record. Another one of the moral majority who thought they knew what was best for us. Beatles arrive in the United States and are greeted by thousands of screaming fans at New York's Kennedy Airport, now called JFK. February 7th and February 9th, Beatles perform on The Ed Sullivan Show, which breaks television ratings records. On the 16th, Beatles appear again on The Ed Sullivan Show. 23rd, they appear a third time on The Ed Sullivan Show. March 1st, my father's birthday, ironically. Capitol Records is bombarded with requests for heavyweight boxing champion Cassius Clay's album, I Am the Greatest, following Clay's defeat of Sonny Liston on February 25th. March 6th, Elvis Presley's 14th motion picture, Kissing Cousins, is released to theaters. 14 motion pictures up to that time? Damn. Billboard magazine, March 14th. Billboard magazine reports that sales of Beatles records make up 60% of the entire singles market. Gee, what a surprise. April of 64, drummer Keith Moon joins The Who. Finally, something that's not Beatle related. Jesus. April 11th, Beatles hold 14th positions on the Billboard Hot 100. Previously, the highest number of concurrent singles by one artist on the Hot 100 was 9 by Elvis Presley in December of 1956. April 16th, Rolling Stones released their debut album. May 12th, the 6th Annual Grammy Awards are held in Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. Henry Mancini wins the most awards with 4. May 20th, Judy Garland makes headlines after a disastrous concert in Melbourne, Australia. What a shame. June. During a performance at the Railway, Pete Townsend of The Who accidentally breaks the head of his guitar on the low ceiling above the stage. This incident marks the start of auto-destructive art by destroying guitars and drums on stage. June 5th, Rolling Stones start their first U.S. tour. Okay, so here's another question for everybody. So, one of my favorite albums was released on June 5th of the early 1970s. Can you guess what album that was? So, we'll go back to that. Let's see. July 6th, Beatles again. First film, Hard Day's Night, is released. July 10th, the album Hard Day's Night is released in the UK. All tracks are written by Lennon and McCartney. August 4th, Kinks released their iconic single, You Really Got Me, You Really Got Me. August 8th, Bob Dylan releases his 4th album, Another Side of Bobby D. August 22nd, Supremes reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart with the first of 5 successful #1 hits, Where Did Our Love Go? September 22nd, Fiddler on the Roof opens on Broadway. October of 64, Dr. Robert Moog demonstrates his prototype synthesizer. And great things would happen. October 19th, Simon and Garfunkel released their debut album, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., their first for Columbia Records, which is a total flop at this time. After release of their second album, Sounds of Silence, in 1966, it hits 30 on the Billboard charts. Good for you, Simon and Garfunkel. I liked you guys. October 24, Rolling Stones start their second U.S. tour. Oh man, I would have loved to see them back in those early days when Brian Jones was still with them. October 25th, Rolling Stones perform on the Ed Sullivan Show for the first time. Of course, I don't think he liked them as much as the Beatles, but too freaking bad. October 31st, Supremes reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart with the second of 5 successful #1 hits, Baby Love. December 11th, Sam Cooke is killed under mysterious circumstances in Los Angeles, sadly. Shortly thereafter, a change is going to come. A song considered by many to be his best is released. Okay, so good. Now we're talking more about the Supremes and less about the Beatles. December 19th, Supremes reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 again, with the third of 5 successive #1 hits. Come see about me. December 24th, the Beatles gain the Christmas #1 in the UK for the second year running with I Feel Fine. Sonny and Cher begin performing together as Caesar and Cleo. I wish they remained that way, because never a big fan of Cher. Ugh. Okay, so now, as to my little quiz a little while ago, we let's. The question was, what favorite album of mine was released on my birthday, June 5th, in the early 1970s? Give up. We're going to share, and I'm going to show you. Deep Purple in Rock, released June 5th, 1970, recorded over a period of October 69 to April 1970. Uh, Actually, wow, the genre is hard rock slash heavy metal, but I gotta tell you, this album for me is the bomb. I mean, look at these great songs. Oh, there we go. Speed King, Bloodsucker, Child in Time, Flight of the Rat, Into the Fire, Living Wreck, and Hard Loving Man. 43 minutes of, excuse me, the most blistering hard rock you could stand at that time. Uh, Here's a quote by our very own Canadian journalist Martin Popoff. Wrote that Deep Purple's In Rock, along with Sabbath's Paranoid and Uriah Heep, all in 1970, outright and triple-handedly invented heavy metal, with In Rock being the flashiest, freshest, and most sophisticated of the three. Amen to that, Martin. I agree. Okay, so let's stop sharing, and I'm going to play you another little snippet from that song. Uh, Basically, it's the song Revolution by Judas Priest, to commemorate 60 revolutions around the sun for me. Uh, I chose that over the Beatles' Revolution. I'll sing a few bars. You say you want a revolution, but instead, let's hear from the incomparable Rob Halford. All right, now that you're sick of me lip syncing, so had to do something for my birthday, and you know what? Probably when I turn 61 next year, I won't do anything as crazy as this, but you know what? Had to do something fun. So this is Jack Toledano. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Please, tell your friends about me. Uh, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to share again, and you'll see why. Um, okay, so we're going to go to my YouTube. Come on. Why is it taking so long? All right. All right. So if you go to my playlist, or better yet, before we even, yeah, so two things I'd like to talk about. If you go to my playlists, concert footage, got well, that you're not supposed to see that yet. Got all this concert footage, and then there's going to be a few more coming. You go to Dream Set Lists, you're going to see a whole bunch of set lists. Again, I have one more coming, but the real reason I have you here, I'm going to ask a favor of you. So if you go to my popular videos, I have a couple videos that are getting close to 1K. My video with Lynn Versace for Ronnie James Dio, the Dream Set List, it's at 981. Please help me out. Help me get there. Ranking the albums of Jethro Tull with special guest Aaron Kupperberg, my Lodge Brother, that's at 956. My premiere 2 years ago, 951 views. Uriah Heep stealing at 942 views. Come on, people, it's only 6 minutes out of your life. So please, please help me out. Thank you so much. And I thank everybody for the birthday wishes. You're all aces in my book. Love you all. Best to you. Jack Toledano. All or none according to Jack. Bye.